So, in so doing, the environmental impact. Focus on the availability of resources and the environmental impact. Let's have a look at the certain things that doesn't comply to the environmental. Nowadays we're talking about green buildings. Each and every building that needs to be erected today have to comply according to environmental criteria as set forth in the Government Gazette of the South African government. And we talk about green buildings, and each and every building have to comply to the new green criteria of the government. So if this project is not friendly to the environment, it causes damage and a lot of atmospheric defects, etc., then the project will also deemed to be not technical feasible. Right. So the environmental impact has got a major concern. Please note, technical feasibility looks beyond project completion. So true. It looks beyond project completion. That is why it's so important when you plan your project, when you design your project, to make sure that beyond the project you have to look at, can you afford to maintain the facility? Is the facility operable? Is it environmental friendly, etc.? And is it also refurbishable? Because when you put a facility down there, or you put the product down there, surely you have to do research and design on it, and you have to enhance it and maintain it on a regular basis. And that has got to be affordable and technically feasible. So it looks beyond the project completion, and technical feasibility is a high-level risk, HR and procurement plan. Okay? Let us go further. So the feasibility component, the technical side, just to give you a quick example. Buying a car is one thing, but maintaining a car is another. You'll find out many people today, they buy expensive cars only to find that they cannot maintain the car. And that is after the acquisition process. You purchase the car, you find out that you cannot afford to maintain the car. And that is even when you buy a car, you have to do a feasibility study. Likewise to the project world. Financial feasibility is also called viability. Like I just mentioned earlier on, the feasibility and viability are all synonymous. Now, what does financial feasibility do? What does it say? Why is it important? Financial feasibility will look, is the project worth it from an investment point of view? Meaning, if I invest financially or the company invests financially in this project, the money that you invest, will you get your money back? Will there be return on investment? If you invest, will you get the return on investment? And if you get a return, at what percentage? At what rate of return will you get your return? So it is very, very important, similar to your property. If you invest today in property, if you invest, obviously there's a return on property investment. So it is important where you invest and how much you invest. Right. So we're looking in it from an investment point of view. Right. That is what financial feasibility study covers. Is it really worth it to embark on this project or big challenging adventure for the company? And there are three methods that will justify financial feasibility of a project. And they are as follows. The three methods is called the payback period, the second one is called the net present value, and the third one is called the internal rate of return. And these three methods is called, according to GAAP, which is the generally accepted accounting principles, which is practiced worldwide. Capital budgeting techniques. They are called capital budgeting techniques. If I can just write the word down here, it's called capital budgeting. Capital budgeting techniques. In so doing, looking at the capital budgeting techniques, the three methods that you apply is payback period, net present value, and internal rate of return. Now, what is payback period? Payback period is the amount of time that will elapse after the investment has been made that you will get your money back. For instance, if you invest 100,000 Rand into a project, 100,000 Rand you invest now, and that is now, and that is year 0, which is now. If you invest 100,000 Rand, and in year 1 and year 2 and year 3, let's say the year 1 cash flow is 20,000 Rand, the year 2 cash flow is 50,000 Rand, and year 3 cash flow is 30,000 Rand. Can you clearly see, if I add up the following, year 1 is 20K, year 2 is 50K, year 3 is 30K. If I add that up, you can clearly see that the 100K will be paid back into year 3. So it will take 3 years for this investment to pay that 100,000 Rand back. And that is the payback period. Now, what is the accepted